Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Venus is becoming visible. This is so beautiful. She disappeared from the sky, meaning she became invisible end of March, and she becomes visible now on approximately on I think 8, yes, 8 of July. 8th of July as an evening star. Just briefly to tell you what is the meaning of this invisibility of Venus. Now, first of all, when planet or a star become too near the sun, they become invisible because they are hiding in the rays of the sun. We also call these planets burnt because they are hiding in the rays of the sun. This is certainly not bad, but this is changing the energy, the meaning, the principle which the star or planet represent. Venus, in her visible face, be it a morning star, be it an evening star, always represents beautiful things, joy, love, abundance, peace, friendships, sweet, delicious things in life, sweet smells, art. This is Venus when visible, when well placed, and also not that well placed in the horoscope. Venus is Venus. As you know, she can be an evening star. When we see her on the west horizon, when the sun is setting, she can also be a morning star. When we see her early in the morning, before the sun is rising, she also can be invisible, and she was just until recently invisible from, like I told you, end of March until now, beginning of July. And she then is descending into the netherworld. Her principle, the things which she represents, are changing. So her energy was very much different. She wouldn't be the one who stands visible to protect, to bless marriage, to bless financial abundance, to bless beautiful friendship, to bless a beautiful fragrance, to bless the. She is totally different when invisible. I have many videos on this because it's my favorite topic. As invisible, she's represented by the goddess Ereshkigal or Ishtar of the ancients, or she's Persephone of the Greek mythology. So she was so different. She would be very much representing these very subtle feelings of ours, very intrinsic, very deep. She would bless the hidden part of nature, and so on and so on. She is gorgeous as invisible too. But this, I don't want to emphasize on this so much because now we will be speaking about her first visibility, because she becomes visible. Now, this varies a little bit, but mostly because she could become visible a little bit earlier in the very last degrees of Gemini, which is fine because in the last degrees of Gemini we find the influence of the star Pollux, the more martial energy of the star Pollux, which is represented by one of the two twins. You have Gilgamesh and Enkidu, or Pollux and Castor. So she becomes visible approximately in this degree, and her presence there is peaceful. She's always peaceful. She's always very wise. Doesn't matter that Venus as a morning star is having these more masculine qualities of a warrior. So now she becomes visible either in the very last degrees of Gemini or in the very first degrees of Cancer. And I'm talking about sidereal coordinates because the sidereal astrology is about the real placements of planets and stars. We don't use any projections on ecliptic, we just use the real placements, the way the stars are at the moment of your birth, at the moment of the birth of one planet. So Venus will become visible most probably in the first degrees of Cancer. And she will be evening star. I like this, and I tell you why. Because as an evening star, she's more like the carrying the evening energy of Venus, not the day energy of Venus, because she's an evening star, and she become visible for big part of the world in Cancer, which is also feminine, but also night sign. So this is a comfortable place for Venus. Cancer, is this very um, delicate energy of intuition, of home, of mother, also end of life. Is represented also by Cancer, the fourth house of the zodiac. It is your home, it is your comfort zone, where Venus becomes visible. And what is she doing in the first degrees of Cancer? These are degrees which are represented by Mars. This is an Egyptian term ruled by Mars, which is considered not very peaceful, problematic, so to say, because logically also Mars is fallen in Cancer. So in these degrees, Venus is rising. This is her first birth. Now, this is the beginning of her cycle. Like she's just born as an evening star in these degrees, which are not peaceful. And classically, typically, she brings peace and comfort and love. And she's very good to convince Mars, also because of some mythological stories where they are um, in love, so she is very good at influencing and softening the energy of Mars, and I like that because I have good hopes that this is peaceful or peace bringing beginning of Venus. Now, let's be clear, Venus is not really capable of bringing major events to the world. She can support major events, but solely alone in the horoscope, she cannot bring major events, but she can influence events, especially when they have very martial character, like all these unpeaceful, I don't have to tell you, you know what I mean, events right now. So this is a small hope of softening the energies around us. Of course, I told you she's not the one that can suddenly say end of wars and peace, but she can be very helpful. She can ease minds of people because, these degrees of Cancer, I told you, are considered to be malefic, difficult. They can bring disasters, they can bring troubles, and Venus can bring peace, especially in the personal horoscopes. Um, Now, before I tell you, a little bit more about the personal horoscopes, let's not forget she's an evening star. Watch Venus become invisible, especially ladies. Watch her because she's this gorgeous feminine energy. She's representing this gorgeous feminine energy because she's an evening star. She's Aphrodite. This is Ishtar. Very romantic, very feminine, very delicate, very artistic, very romantic, very much gorgeous feminine sexual energy too. So Venus as an evening star. Of course, she's also very smart and wise. Let's never underestimate Venus. As this is Inanna from Uruk. She was the patron deity of the city of Uruk in of Mesopotamia. She um, she is the more feminine principle of Venus. So her visibility is something beautiful. For at least 8 months ahead, she will influence, she will carry the energy of the first degrees of Cancer, and she will be delicate, she will be artistic, she will soften, um, you know, she will soften some unrest spirits because Cancer is very much about intuition, about the soul, about emotions. She will have this softening effect for sure. And this is at least for 8 months ahead influences. Even if she rises for some areas of the world, in the last degrees of Gemini, again, these are also degrees influenced by Mars because this is the star Pollux. They're very martial because the star Pollux is this one from the two great twins, Gemini, which is most probably the king of Uruk, Gilgamesh. You know the story of Gilgamesh and Enkidu. This is the first known to us novel translated from ancient Babylon, which is about, it is all astrology there. If you read it, you will be absolutely amazed. All astrology to a degree that we we just admire the knowledge of these people back then who knew more than we know now. So Gilgamesh, the one who is representing the star Pollux, the Castor and Pollux together, um, is very martial. He was warrior king, very strong. He was giant. And he ruled Uruk for hundreds of years because back then they lived longer than we live now. So even if she becomes visible there, again, she will have her peaceful influence on Mars, which only Venus with love can do. Because you can see the oppositions. If Mars is the energy of aggression, Venus is the energy of love. So this is the only energy which can soften Mars. So this was briefly about her first appearance. I love this first appearance of Venus. Shortly after that, it will be in August when I will be making my new Venus talismans. I just waited for her to become visible. But while she's in Cancer, she's not dignified enough because she's peregrine in Cancer. She's not fallen. She's not on a throne. She's not exalted. So she's peregrine in Cancer, and this doesn't make her dignified enough to invoke the spirit of Venus as an evening star and prepare Venus talismans. I will make them in August. In July, I will make the talismans of Mars while he is still in Aries, and the talismans of the Sun because the Sun in Gemini is very beautiful and powerful because in Gemini we have the point of the summer solstice. So, where the Sun can be better, this is just the point of the summer solstice. So, going back to this first appearance of Venus, she is blessing the signs. Last degree is Gemini, first degree is Cancer. So if you have, especially, I think for bigger part of the world, she's become invisible in Cancer. If you have Cancer ascendant, sidereal, or if you look tropically, this is Leo. If you have Moon in Cancer ascendant, this is great blessing. If you have ascendant Capricorn, this is also blessing. Venus can be very beautifully blessing your marriage, romantic life, business agreements, and so. Also, if you have Cancer or Capricorn on midheaven, lower meridian, or for the modern tropical astrology, of course, this would be either Aquarius or this would be Leo. So they will have the blessing of Venus. Another important thing to tell you, if you remember when I announced, it was back end of March of this year, when I announced the invisibility of Venus and I was telling you expect her to become invisible, I told you during this time, this is not very appropriate period for getting married or for starting new businesses or new financial projects. Financial, because she's also ruling, the finances. So this I've been telling you several times, and now she is already allowing these activities. So this is also another important point to make. By the way, this is some cultures I told you previously also. I am very much respecting the Indian astrological tradition. They know in India you will not see you will not witness marriages in India while Venus is invisible. Also, they know, and when they have important events ahead, or when they have to make important decisions, when they're getting married, they always consult astrologers because they really know their tradition in this is really, really amazing. Such was the tradition in the ancient world. Astrologer, a doctor, um, they were like very, very, important for their daily life. Starting from Mesopotamia, and so yes, now this is important. Now you can really use her visibility for to bless your work, to bless your businesses, to do beauty procedures. Because how can you do beauty procedure when the main ruler of beauty is invisible and not there to bless you? Because the belief is that when the planet is invisible, she's not there to just to bless you. Maybe you will get good results, but you will get better results when Venus is visible. When you make cosmetics, let's say many people, including me, I make home made creams and cosmetics. I never do that while Venus is invisible. Now, when she will be visible, I will make my own cosmetics. And so, maybe many people do that. So, for this, for beauty procedures, for your artistic work will be blessed now. You have maybe better muse. So, I think this is good news. um, Benefit from this as much as you can. Try to do your artwork if you abandon some art work, or um, drawing, singing, whatever you love. Venus will give you the blessing. So all the best to you. I hope this information was useful, and see you very, very soon.